Quando 2 anni fa abbiamo iniziato le nostre interviste profumate agli addetti ai lavori, ho sempre desiderato di avere qui ospite nel nostro studio un grande maestro. E se magari per me o per Art, per Luca, eravamo riusciti tramite conoscenze a averli ospiti, a farci raccontare tutti i segreti del loro lavoro, in questo caso è stato un po' diverso, perché è stato come parlare a uno di quei mostri sacri del settore. E non vi nascondo che ero molto emozionato, non vi nascondo che mi sono appassionato a questo settore con tanti profumi che ha firmato Bertrand Duchaufour e che sono molto contento di condividere con voi questa intervista della quale sono molto orgoglioso oltre che estremamente felice. E proprio perché sono estremamente felice ho anche fatto fare una cosa a Bertrand, gli ho fatto firmare una ventina, non più di più, di Discovery Set che potete ricevere ordinandoli, ovviamente i primi 20 di voi, su 50-ml.it. Così potete sentirvi tutte le fragranze di entropiste create dal maestro Bertrand a casa vostra con un kit autografato solo per voi. Buona visione. Welcome everybody on Profumi di Nicchia, or welcome back. Today I am very happy, I'm honored and excited to host on our channel one of the biggest master of this world, of this perfumery world. No, don't do like this face. It's true.
No.
And it's not only on the quantity, but it's especially on the quality. Welcome.
I hope so.
No, for sure. Welcome, Bertrand. I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you, Matteo. Thank you.
Today, we're here because a few weeks ago, Bertrand launched Ensemble Noir, the new fragrance of his collection. So I asked him to come here to have an interview to explain us the philosophy and some technical aspect of the collection, and of course, some words on the new launch. But I will start asking you to present yourself to the people that probably have never smelled a fragrance in your life or never
Who knows?
start to research what there is behind the fragrance. So, what have you done in your life? I know very well, but for the people who maybe don't know, what have you done? Why, for me, you are one of the biggest perfumer in this world?
Why? I can't explain, no. I just try to be an artist before all. Well, I have 40 years of experience now. I began my career in Grasse, and I stay in Grasse during 3 years, just for learning the very basis of the perfumery. And I had the opportunity to come back to Paris after in the same company, and I continue to improve myself, to improve my expertise of perfumery through big companies during 20 years. And after that, I wanted to have a change, because work in big companies for big brands is something very exciting in a way, but in the same time quite limitative. And I wanted to free me, to liberate me from these quite restrictive lines, and I became a carrier of independent perfumer, something like 16, 17 years ago. And through this career, I had the opportunity to work only on niche brand fragrances for a lot of brands. I was lucky because it was the best period for beginning that kind of work, and with that kind of statue, independent perfumer. And I have been very lucky to start to work on this very quickly with a lot of demand. It was amazing, and I was one of the most lucky guy in perfumery, I would say. But I'm very happy of that, and it's still continuing.
You said you are an artist more than a perfumer.
Yes.
There's a fly.
No.
Okay.
It's okay. No worry.
Okay.
No worry for the fly.
No, You said you are an artist. I know that you are also a painter. I personally understand this duality in your knowledge because I love both arts and fragrances, and I studied when I was younger all the arts from I don't know, not Paleolithic, but
Yeah,
very classic art since
yeah.
contemporary art. And my question is why you choose the art of perfumery?
Oh, I was fond of painting a lot of kind of art, but at the very beginning, I've been fascinated by the scent and the art of perfumery just because it was completely unknown for me.
Okay.
Even my parents were very well. We were not a poor family, but a very normal family. And actually, my parents were quite strict, very Catholic, and neither my father, neither my mother did wear anything. So perfumery was completely unknown for me since I arrived to Paris. That means at the age of 16, 17.
Okay.
And I had the opportunity to meet a girl, which who became my girlfriend actually for a very short time, but
Okay.
she was passionate about perfumery and smell and scents. And for me, it was just the discovery of a new world. And it was very strange because as soon as I met this girl, and the world of perfumery, I just realized it was an amazing expression of art, just just like that. It was for me as soon as I met this fantastic world, an expression, a fantastic expression of art, like the others.
Yeah.
I didn't do the difference between
Okay.
painting, sculpture, and fragrance, and for me it was actually the most mysterious way of expressing myself in that kind of way, meaning artistic way.
And I think that also you said mysterious. When you say mysterious, for me is also one of the strongest way to talk to people. Like a fragrance can touch some very deep aspect of the person.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just because the sense of smelling is the only one linked directly to the paleocortex of our brain, meaning it's very reptilian. It's the most instinctive one, and it's fantastic because we have crazy emotion, but completely unconscious emotion, sometimes inexplicable. So it's very strong and in the same time very mysterious and inexplicable. You can't tell about, and it's very difficult to touch the other people with what we feel about fragrance and what we feel about the smell, the scent, and it's the reason why it's in the same time so much interesting.
And you said something very interesting before. You said my family was very Catholic,
Very Catholic,
and
so very strict, discreet.
okay. How much this experience you had in I don't know in the first year of your life between churches and I think
Yeah,
something
I had
holy.
that kind of experience. Church
Yeah.
every weekend, every Sunday in church since my 16 years old,
Okay.
since I was 16. Yes, and I just react because as a teenager, we always
course.
react, and I react against everything regarding my education, my Catholic education. But I have the sixth of a family of seven,
Okay.
and my elder brother and sister did a lot for liberating the last children of my family easily. And
Okay.
actually, at 14, 15, I was quite free.
Okay.
And the reason why I could explore a lot of things that even my parents didn't care about. So I did. I was very curious,
Okay.
and what actually the expression of perfume and smell was one of my very first and strongest experience of liberation, I would say.
But my question was, you are known in this world as the master of incense. how much is really, and especially incense is the
Yes.
kind of fil rouge of the
Exactly.
collection.
Yeah, in a way.
How much
For the moment.
for the moment, especially, yeah, of course. We don't know because it's a disordered collection. So
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
we have a fil rouge, but I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
imagine something weird at any
Yes,
moment.
but incense is very important in the collection. Frankincense, the raw material frankincense is very important just because of that. Actually, it's surely linked, a direct link with my childhood, and the fact that I was at the beginning very impressed by the churches and all the rituals include in the Catholic words. It was something very strong, but unconscious. I just realized after that, okay, incense was something very important for me, but it has not been something like done in purpose of having a link with my childhood. No. I just realized 10 years after that incense was so important for me just because I believe as a child, I lived something very strong regarding the Catholic word. But it was not in purpose, it was not conscious, it was not rational at all.
Okay, now that is very interesting. What was like kind of more rational, of course, is before you said I was kind of tired of these very strict limits, strict barriers, let's call it this way, that big brands put on me.
Yeah.
Basically, forced me to respect. And then when I entered in the niche, I was like more free to work as an independent. So your style could develop in a better way. As I was telling you before, you create one of the best fragrances for my dad, which is Nude Tuberose, but you also created my favorite Crivelli, which is Citrus Baticanga, two of my three favorite Penaligons, which are Lothair and Sartorial.
Okay.
You work with Comme des Garçons with Avignon, and you basically revolutionize the concept of incense. But my question is, how difficult is work with so many brands and at the same time always deliver a Bertrand Duchaufour masterpiece?
Each customer trusts me, and they didn't ask me to create something very specific and with a specific style of the brand, but they came to create something with me, dialoguing, of course, but knowing exactly that I had my own style and respecting it. The reason why, in the same time, I tried to get a certain style for each brand, but in the same way with my own very personal style, personal approach of what can be a fragrance before that. Before what can be a brand. Actually, I work for a fragrance, for a mood of a fragrance, actually a concept, but not for a brand.
Okay.
The brand is secondary for me.
Okay.
And actually, all my customers respect that, and they still respect that kind of. And they come to see me or to working with me just because. I am Bertrand Duchaufour, and they accept to play the game of doing something as Bertrand imagined.
In the Bertrand style.
Exactly, in the Bertrand style.
And last question before going on the Entropiste. This style, how do you develop this style? Like, which were your masters? What they taught you, and how do you change these the things that these people taught you and make your sign? What was the process? And in this year we are.
So I began the perfumery in Grasse with a team called Les Trois Mousquetaires. There was Jean-Claude Gigodeau. He died actually, and it's a pity. Jean-Claude Helena and Lucien Ferrero, and all of them coming from actually Givaudan. worked with a certain style and had a huge respect of natural products.
Okay.
Okay, and they actually they just transmit me that kind of respect and that kind of style of working with beautiful material, very well chosen and things like that. And after that, I came back to Paris on the Lautier Fluorescent team with Jean-Louis Ciozac.
Okay.
Jean-Louis Ciozac, and I used to work with Jean-Louis Ciozac, and after that with Almerac, Michel Almerac, and after that with Dominique Ropion, with Anne Flippo, on all of them, because maybe of the period, natural products were something very important. They all have the respect of what can be a very beautiful raw material, a beautiful natural raw material, and actually I just, well, follow the line, they just followed all of them to have in mind that we have to focus before all on very beautiful natural raw material. So actually my style is coming from that.
Okay.
Big quantities, if it's possible, of those kind of products with the most beautiful and the most well-chosen one.
Okay.
And I'm still continuing to do so. I'm not the only one. I know that a lot of other perfumers do the same, but it's my line of working for 40 years now, and I'm still continuing to do, to follow it. Actually, what is very different regarding my style is I always consider that for being very personal, has to begin with a white sheet. Okay. No formula. No one of my creation comes from another.
Okay. And this is the
From
perfect link of my next question.
Okay, from
Because,
another fragrance.
Yeah, but
Everything is coming from my brain.
okay.
The sheet is very white, and I began to write each line with the idea of what I want to represent. Actually, I have a real, very concrete idea of what I want to do, and actually I just focus my mind on those ideas, and I try to be the most respectful possible concerning it.
The sentence you just said was perfect because, and now we enter in the secret behind the Entropist.
Yeah.
Then we will talk about the name. That is like another cool thing.
Yeah.
But my question was, I've seen many great or master perfumers who has done their own line, and what I saw is I perfectly recognize their own style. In many times, I saw that they were basically doing what they were the best at doing it. I'm thinking about Michel Almerac with his own line. He works on some previous formula and he slightly twists them. Of course, I haven't smelled all the fragrances you have created, but when I approached this brand, I saw something totally different. Is I recognize your own style, but at the same time was seen from another light. Was I don't know. The first thing I thought was, when Bertrand created this line, was it something that he had inside from many years and he just wanted to show to the world, or is it something that he was kind of forced to do it?
No.
So that was my main question. Then of the line of the brand.
No. Actually, the way of thinking the creation of each fragrance of the L'Entropiste is to play with balance and disbalance between with an oscillation between both balance and disbalance. The oscillation is very important. It's creating the movement in the fragrance. I guess that when you wear one of my fragrance, the fragrance is very evolving on the skin, and it's my main purpose actually. I always create something surprising, moving in the time, and always changing. And actually, a lot of people saying me in the past that my fragrances are very special just because they evolve a lot on the skin. And actually, it's one of the most grateful compliment
Yeah.
we can say they can say, and I'm very satisfied of. And I try to continue and to still push this idea
Okay.
with always the next creation, just because I want every time try. I just want to surprise my public, my consumers.
I've been very surprised, and this idea of lack of equilibrium that is still an equilibrium.
In a way,
Is-
yes,
is-
exactly. It's
is
life
very
itself.
cool.
Life
It's very
itself.
cool.
Life is something very harmonious, but it's always moving. The only thing, on the only state where anything is just immobile,
See,
just
it's
immobile,
still, yeah. You need
is
the movement.
in the death.
Yeah.
Okay, so life is always in motion, and actually it's all the philosophy of the brain. Actually, l'anthropist is creating the disbalance just for moving forward, just for evolving, like life is evolving by itself, on itself, at each scale of universe. At the very big scale of what can be the cosmos, and the very small scale can be microcosm and microbes and things like that. But it's always moving in a huge traffic jam.
And I think that in the line we have like from the little seed to the cosmos. So
Exactly.
was very cool. And I will finish this thought saying in the order is also very difficult to learn something. But in the disorder, you learn many
A lot.
things. But
Absolutely.
more than this, you learn many things on you. Because
As well, yeah, of course.
it's a kind of philosophy thing, but I'm not a philosophy guy, but
Maybe because
I
of
like
that,
this
I would pretend that I know a lot of things about me just because I was always, moving a lot and very, very unstable. Because instability is something very interesting. As soon as you can learn about it and from it.
the balance between don't get crazy and learn something is very
Exactly.
slight. Okay, so let's start from the life, the seed of the life. So let's start from the one I like the most, which is Semence Douce.
Semence douce. Actually, Semence
follow
douce, yeah.
I follow the Francois order.
Okay.
From the, let's call the lightest to the deepest. Where is it? Semence Douce? Not here. No. This one? Is it there?
No, Jodhpur.
Jodhpur, Semence Douce.
Semence douce.
Okay.
Semence douce. Semence douce is actually the most engaging, implicating fragrance and creation I did so far. Maybe of all I did, it's the more unexpected for me. So I don't know how the public and the consumers are reacting regarding it, but for me it's very. Actually, it's a Graal. Not a Graal. Can I say that? My stone of I don't know. It's the most important maybe, because the creation is the most deep, the most complicated, the most sophisticated as well. Because I play as much as on the scent than on the image I can express. Than as well on the words, because there's comment tu dis, un jeu de mots, a word twist with even the title, the name of the fragrance, Semence douce, is coming from amande douce, because there is a huge accord of amande douce, but semence douce, it's as well a semence, like our sperm can be a semence, like almond can be a semence, the rice can be a semence, and all those accords are here present in confrontation in this fragrance. It's very intricate, it's very complicated, moving a lot. From a very floral, green, sappy
exactly.
note, which is the tulip itself, but the tulip smell as well, an ozonic effect, fresh effect of sperm,
Yeah.
constantly. As the almond is here like a semence, there is a play between the sappy tulip note and the almond.
Yeah.
There is as well a play with the amidon of rice. The rice is very present, and this confrontation, this mixture, is in the same time very stunning, very unexpected,
absolutely.
really unexpected, and actually, I think, acceptable.
And it's very fluid. Francois said it's very fluid. It's very, you can, it's not, you said it's very evolving. It's changing a lot. And the idea of a fluid is
In the same
perfect.
time.
Exactly.
In the same time.
Is
Actually, it's supposed to be a fragrance, and the fragrance is like that, something moving but fluid at the same time. Evolving in time, surprising, each minute passing, but in the same time, acceptable.
Yeah, as I was telling you before, I really like it because of two reasons. One, because I spent some time of my life when I was studying in the Netherlands. So for me, tulips has a very deep meaning. But at the same time, I always knew that it's very difficult to extract the scent of the tulip.
Yeah, it's very special.
Is
Well,
just from the green part from
Exactly.
the
And
stem.
actually, we don't have any extract of, we don't have oils of tulip, but we can reconstitute actually the smell of certain tulip. Certain tulip don't smell at all. Others can smell a lot.
Okay.
The yellow one, certain yellow beautiful tulips smell the saffron. It's the reason why there is a saffronous note.
Okay.
Certain of them are very liquid, aqueous,
Yeah.
and ozonic, like can be the sperm. So it's the reason I learn a lot. I just try to learn a lot about the smell of tulip, and I smell a quantity, incredible quantity of them. But it can be very surprising because a lot of people say that tulip don't smell, but it's completely wrong. Completely wrong.
But and the other thing is that was very cool on the tulip is that is a flower that is dry because you have the bulb, and then when he born, let's say he born,
absolutely. It grows.
he grows. It becomes very liquid. Very
Green,
fresh, green,
sappy, exactly.
and this contrast is
It's
very
amazing.
cool. It's very cool.
Exactly. That's completely true.
And on the other side, I discovered that you associate this image of the tulip to the pictures of Mapplethorne.
Yeah.
And when I was in the university, I studied a lot about the role of the body in the arts of the 20th centuries.
Yeah.
And when I said, okay, this is the fragrance I really need to have because as everything of my university period, but as also two of the main ingredients I like, which are like these powdery, soft notes, basically rice, but also the green aspect. So when I smell it, I was very happy.
And the tulip, I did actually an homage to the tulip because it's a beautiful flower, and at the same time an homage to a great photographer, Mapplethorpe, as you said. We were crazy about tulips, of course. Beautiful tulip in vase, like with very suggestive curves, and it's the reason why I wanted to represent it.
By the way, this is I know we can finish the interview here, but this is my favorite one.
Okay.
Second fragrance. We move from the Netherlands. We go to Japan.
To Japan.
Passing from a red light cinema.
Red light cinema. Yes.
I always look.
I remember of my teenage period. Yes, absolutely. When I was actually 18, because we were obliged to be 18 years old. And with friends, we decided to see the movie Empire of Sands of and this Japanese, very famous Japanese. I don't even remember the realizer. I'm sorry, but well, it was something very surprising and impressive for us. Our first erotic, well, more than erotic, pornographic experience in a way. Supposed to be erotic, but it was not only erotic. It was a strong romantic story, a real one, which been lived by a woman with the owner of a house, a geisha called Sada. And actually she has been arrested in the 1930 exactly in the Kyoto streets by policemen. She was crazy, a bit completely lost, overpowered by a rice powder. She was crazy, and actually she was wearing a little bag, a little box, and in this box she was keeping. She had the balls of her of her lover. So the story, the testicle,
The testicles, not
the
don't
testicle.
laugh.
Yeah, and actually
the
the
jewels.
story is amazing and very subjective. In the same time, I wanted to represent this craziness, and this moment, very special moment of this woman lost in the streets and overpowered with the rice powder. And actually, all the story is here. I have a main accord of rice powder in this fragrance, which is very appreciated by Italian people. Actually, I know that because
I like it.
talc powder and rice powder is something very crazy. Actually it's historical, and it's a educational. Actually, there is a reason for that, because Italian mother use a lot of talc and powder like that for their child, and actually it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So the rice powder here is big. It's huge.
Also the Irish pounder.
Yeah, the iris, but actually the real rice powder is used with rice powder mixed with the rhizome, the rice, the roots of the iris. It's the reason why it smells so good. Actually, well, everything is transformed by the cosmetic accord of rice powder, of course, but it's here. Iris effect is very present too, and mixed with a very strange opposite effect of lychee. Why lychee? Because lychee can be very subjective, very representative of what can be a ball,
of the testicles. Of course. That's why I never liked lychee. Now I look at that different point of view. But that was the surprising thing, because I was surprised basically by two aspects. The first is this lychee accord, because usually I always remember it linked with some rose to highlight these fruity aspects, but it's very at my nose is always very unnatural. It's something I don't really like when it's used in fragrances, but in this way is different. Francois told me that you work on the juiciness of the fruit.
Juiciness of the fruit, which is in complete opposition of the powdery effect.
Exactly.
The dry powdery effect of rice and iris.
It's always dry and liquid.
Yeah, the opposition, the contrasts are very important in my creation, because you can't work a beautiful fragrance, I'm sure that, without any kind of contrast. The contrast is fundamental. Even in a painting.
Yeah, of course.
In a painting, the contrasts are very, very important. Well, you have the old blue of Yves Klein, but it's beautiful and very impressive at the same time. Well, you saw one, it's okay. If you have all a series of blue de Klein, it can be boring. And I confess, I think that it can be boring, and it's the case.
I don't have my phone here, but some years ago, when I moved to my house, I didn't have any paintings or any picture in my home, so I didn't want to buy them, and I started to paint them. And the first idea I have, it was want to work on complementary colors. So I have a big painting which is blue and orange. I have another one which is yellow, blue, and green. Another one which I works on is different. That one is pink and light blue. And but the other thing I wanted to know on Blank Sada was about this love, because the story is very strong, and I always imagine the relation between a master and a geisha, not something that is 100% romantic. I always imagine it like a prisoner and the jailman. Like there is
This syndrome of
the Stockholm syndrome when you
Yes, I didn't
fell
see
in
the,
love.
the story like that, but it can be. You may be right. But
No.
for me, it was a pure love story
Okay.
between a geisha who were a little bit lost at the beginning because she began very young.
Yeah, exactly.
And she has been actually modeled on the shaped by this owner of a house
Okay.
who gave her a huge education, because a geisha is
Yeah.
somebody very
To
educated,
play
very
any
well educated.
instrument.
She can play, she can
Do the tea.
exactly,
A very
exactly.
skilled woman, of
A
course.
skilled woman, and she became a very beautiful and skilled woman, a beautiful geisha, just because of him. And I can't understand that you could fall in love of your master in a way. And she fell in love with him, and she had a romance, a fantastic love story, fantastic and very, very passionate love story. The reason why she came to kill him, to kill him just because he asked.
Yes, of course. Yeah, of course.
And it's fantastic, actually. It's the finitude, and it's the accomplishment of a huge love affair. Actually, for me, it's something
But
fantastic.
also the fact that she's literally cutting his balls is something that you can look at it in a romantic way. Like you are, no, it's true. You are mine in this life, but also in the other. So this the most important element of our love, I will keep it for me. So I saw in this very weird way.
You're right. The gesture of the cutting of the balls are something maybe a bit mad.
Okay.
And crazy, but she was crazy of love, actually.
Pushed by love.
Pushed by love.
Okay.
And it's fantastic, actually.
Okay. Let's go back to another country. Go.
I would have just about the painting and the contrast. We talk about Yves Klein, but you have a master in Italy, which is Fontana.
Of
And
course.
Fontana is as well a lot of painting of plain red, plain pink, but
Is cutting. Is opening new space.
a new space,
I know.
and actually the contrast is fantastic.
Yeah, I
and
know.
actually in Blanc Sada there is a kind of contrast. Exactly.
You have to look for it.
And you have to look for it, and the lychee is here like a cut.
Yeah. Perfect description. Perfect description. Maybe something you have created that you. No, I'm joking. No. Okay. Let's go on Jodhpur 6 a.m.
Jodhpur 6 a.m.
I'll start with a question.
Yeah.
Because before spraying it, Francois told me that you've been there 26 years ago.
No, more than that.
More than 26.
No,
Okay.
35 years ago.
So many years.
Yeah. I know India now for a long time.
Okay.
I've been something like 10 or 11 times over there in India. So it was my very first trip, that's for sure. Because the very first discovery in India, the very first discovery of Agra, Taj Mahal, and from Taj Mahal to Jodhpur by bus.
Yeah.
I arrived at 6 a.m. At the border of the city, because all the buses stopped at the border of the city, and here there is a huge effervescence of life. And when I
Even at
came
the
down-
dawn. Even at the dawn.
at the dawn, it's already crazy of life. And actually, it was the beginning of the flower market and all the markets around. Everything was open at this right time, and I came down from the bus, welcomed by something like 20 chai makers who wanted to sell
Yeah.
their chai, and I just showed the first one. I say, why not? I'm trying the chai, and boom! It has been a huge discovery. The first chai I ever drank, and actually something amazing, a strong, like a strong clack, a strong slap,
Yeah.
exactly, the very first one. And it was at a period, we have to know that 35 years ago, the chai in Europe wasn't
Wasn't
known.
existing. Yeah, of course. And that's what the fact I was fascinating by is that I knew that basically this experience came back to your mind because one of your assistants, one of the people you're working with,
Yeah.
did the same
Exactly,
trip.
exactly. Actually, my assistant and my pupil,
Okay.
yeah, she's now perfumer.
Okay.
But we began the work 2 years and 2.5 years, and just because she told me that she had this experience of drinking a chai at the bottom of a bus. And I say, like me,
Like you.
in Jodhpur. Like me.
After
And
the bus trip.
exactly, after the bus trip. And I said, well, we go to work together a fragrance
Okay.
regarding this exact moment and this exact emotion, because it was a huge emotion to smell and to drink in the same time. Smell the market, the flowers of the market, flower market. It was something hugely surrounding hugely the all the atmosphere, and us and drinking and tasting a very special
Beverage.
yeah,
Drink. Yeah.
special tests made of milk, but sugary milk, like almost caramelized milk mixed with a black tea, a strong black tea with a lot of spices,
spice.
a bouquet of spice, amazing bouquet of
But
spice.
the fragrance was created on the experience you share, like the feelings you share of this experience,
Absolutely.
of the contours of it. Like I imagine, like you were discussing with her.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember more
So
the spice, and
exactly,
she said, I remember more the flowers.
exactly. So the idea was to have a compromise between both expression and both impression of what we remembered, and actually she wanted something more ginger. I refused, and so the ginger is here, but not that much. Not that much, because I know that my first impression was not ginger at all, but it's depending actually of the chai maker.
Yeah, the
They
one you
got
get.
their recipe, so it's maybe her chai was very very strong in ginger, not mine. And ginger, I don't like so much ginger in that kind of accord, so we had a compromise.
Okay.
And did a lot of. She wanted something very tuberose like, so I said, okay, we will work on it.
And I think that the other very interesting aspect of this fragrance is the disorder.
Yeah.
Because when you smell it on the paper, actually you don't get this disorder, this lack of balance. Always positive, of course. But when you wear on skin,
it
changes a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Are the spices?
Like on the blotter, it seems something very kind,
Yeah.
very very smooth and easy to. No.
But on
The
the
spices,
skin,
the spice effect are always surprising and unexpected on the skin.
Yeah.
And actually, what is very enveloped on the blotter is evolving a lot and exploding all all the fragrance. The spices are here, and with the heat actually of our body, spices are exploding, and it's the reason why there is a movement, still a movement. It's like if the earth itself and the nuts of the earth was exploding, something big. It's a bit like that, because this fragrance is like cherry with his noyau, with his nut
Okay.
in the center. The nuts, it's actually a spicy bouquet for me.
Okay.
And the spicy bouquet is very well enveloped by the milky effect, the lactonic effect of the white flour.
Okay.
But actually, the nut effect, the spicy effect, is just boom, exploding everything.
Is hidden by these soft notes,
Exactly.
but when you wear it, it
Exactly.
explodes. And I think is very cool. This process. I like it a lot. As I told you, when I wear something that is changing, I'm very excited.
Uh-huh.
Let's go on something that is related to Italy, but is more
Yes.
than everything is related to the cosmos, because we started
As well.
from the seed, from the sperm, and now we are going to the cosmos.
To the cosmos.
And also here I have one stupid thing to say, because of course if you call a fragrance Altamura, for people in Italy you always think about one thing, that is bread. But and I was very happy, a new bread fragrance. No, not at all. But you also focus on the Altamura man, of course, but also on the pillar of the creation. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And my
Cosmos, beautiful clouds.
was one of the gifts that my wife gave it to me for my 30th birthday. She gave me this huge painting of a galaxy. So I always wonder, and I want to know how much this question is related to the fragrance. For you, which is the smell of a galaxy? Or better, of a come si dice nebulosa?
Nebuleuse.
Of a nebulosa.
Nebuleuse.
I always, because I watch many documentaries on it, and I always ask, okay, I really want to create a fragrance that describe this reaction of hydrogen and explosion with other atoms and not ingredients, but how can you other molecules? And nobody could smell, of course, but
Of course not.
in your mind,
Yeah, in my mind.
what did you think?
Well, the nebulosa, or a cloud of a gaseous, cosmos gaseous cloud, is something for me very, at the same time, dust, but the real smell of dust is, I suppose, something very mineral,
Okay.
but as well with a lot of emptiness, of space and breath. And actually, the most important is this lack of materia.
Okay.
Of matera.
Material. Matera, Altamura, more or less. Different region, but close.
In something very huge, very beautiful, but actually, like, it's something very empty.
Okay.
By definition, just because from a dust to another, you have 1,000 kilometers.
Yeah, of course.
Something like that.
More than kilometers.
More than
light years.
So it's something which is very present in the same time, but very lacunaire, lacunaire
Yeah.
in the same time. And for representing it, actually, incense is one of the first presents to respect, first material to get, just because incense for me is in the same time very lacunaire, quite breathing a lot, because the terpenes of the incense are very in top, very diffusing, but very volatile. And in the same time, incense can be very hugely present, but in a very special way. It's not that dense.
Okay.
It's very breathing. Incense is that. And actually, one of the other idea is to get something breathing a lot. And actually, the breath of the fragrance is given by a huge presence of orange.
Okay.
And if I chose
I give it to you.
orange, it's not by chance.
Okay.
It's just because on the picture of the Altamura man, we
young.
can only see the picture of this guy.
Yeah.
Amazing guy, amazing presence. Somewhere else, somewhere like in a very lost place of the Puglias, It's an amazing presence, something incredible. He's here, but for a kind of eternity. But the spectacle, the spectacle, oui,
The show, yeah.
the show he present to us by the photo we can see of him is something fantastic because it's the same time completely mobile, without any movement, and breathing a lot just through a cave landscape, amazing cave landscape, which is completely including him in his material, in his stone, in his. So he's here completely blocked, and in the same time, he is the beginning of a huge movement, like a cosmic cloud movement. And actually, there is kind of dance and correspondence of dance between the big scale of the cosmos and the cave of Altamura. And at each scale of the universe on life, you can find that kind of movement, on that kind of dance. And it's the things, the correspondence I wanted to represent. And I did it through this fragrance with this beautiful opposition between what is very mineral, the incense, and what is very breathing and luminous, which is the orange. That's it.
You could then say in a better way. I will add one thing.
Yeah.
That is, usually you are showing us the life, and basically the world is looking at this life, moving, changing, and evolving. But in this way, it's like the life is stop. The Altamura man is the life, is there, and the world is moving. So is a kind
dancing
of
around.
Yeah, it's not us, the people that are dancing around the world, but is a different point of view. Is the world that is dancing around the man in of course different period of time.
Yeah, no, you're right in a way because this poor man is completely blocked in his grave
How many
cave.
years? Like
how many years? 200,000 years old. Okay, so it's amazing. He's here, but in the same time, because of this picture, it's a photography. Yeah. We are witness of something amazing, but it is completely blocked and immobilized, and we are just moving and imagining in the same time a beautiful dance around. Yeah. That's beautiful. Exactly.
And on the other side, I have a stupid thing that is related to art because the first time I saw the picture, I immediately thought about the skull of Damien Hirst with the diamonds.
Yeah. In a way, you're right, but it's completely so different. And actually, the meaning and the approach is so different that nothing to do.
No, of course. But the most interesting thing is how you work on the incense, because I know that you work on 3 different levels.
Exactly.
You work also on 3 different extraction of the incense.
Yeah, absolutely. The oil, the CO2, and the resins. They are acting at different levels of the fragrance. We have to not memorize, but imagine what can be the exact action of each raw material and each kind of raw material regarding a fragrance. Actually, it's a spatio-temporal effect. We have to think and have in mind that everything is evolving in a 4-dimension, scale, space. And we have to include as well the time passing. And it's one of the most important criteria of all perfumery, all creation of fragrance. Time is very important because an orange will evolve, but at certain level of the fragrance. And it's depending as well of the quantity you want to put. The orange, at 2% of orange won't act the same way and in the same time that a 15% orange presents.
Yeah. And you are the 15, of course.
Well, in this one, I wanted to envelop almost all the vertical structure of the incense by the orange. It's very funny. It's one of my favorite plays.
Yeah. It is very cool.
One of my
only question was, did you work on the same raw materials, or you change, for example, the type of olibanum you use in the CO2 or in the
Yeah.
wine?
I used to work with four different raw material, incense raw
Okay.
material. Four. Here there is three of them. One of them is used for the last one,
Okay.
exactly in the same way, but with different accords, with different approach. So it's the way of looking is different.
Okay, let's go. We started talking about your passion and your love for natural ingredients.
Yeah.
And I know that in this collection there's a fragrance that has not a single drop of
Of
natural.
naturals. Yeah, it's a challenge. It was a challenge, and I wanted to do it. Something funny, but in the same time, well, the approach was not done just for my pleasure. I wanted to try to make consider that we have a kind of unconscious heritage of what can be, what could be, what have been perfumery during these 40, 50 years past. And actually, incense is worked now for, well, the first one was one of mine, actually. And, there is more than 25 years that we can talk about the incense fragrance. And actually, incense is that much important now that it came in, it entered in a kind of unconscious heritage of. So people smell an incense, but without knowing exactly what is the real natural incense. But they have this idea that okay, it can be that just because of a resinous effect, because of a aldehydic effect, just because of a ambery dry notes. Well, a lot of things can make think about incense, but they are not incense.
Yeah.
And actually, working with natural incense is very difficult. And as soon as you want to put a lot of incense, you have already problems. So it's not that evident. But I wanted to say and to try to explain to the lambda consumer that you can have an idea of incense without any kind of presence of incense in the accord. And actually, I use everything around what we can think about the incense: aldehydes, ambery notes,
yeah.
dry woody
Musk.
effects, musk, yes, which are building something like a beautiful shape of incense, but without any kind of presence of incense. And actually, it's a kind of déjà vu. And Down Whispers is the idea of a déjà vu between two words, two worlds. And there is the world of your dreams, the world of your awakening,
Yeah.
and it's exact link between both of them, and it's the reason why we call it Down Whispers.
You basically pictured the best moment of my day. So when the alarm clock sounds, and I say, okay, I'll come back 10 minutes later, and then I fall asleep, and my wife get angry, but that's another stuff. I perfectly understand the idea of this silver light you open the fragrance with,
Yeah.
and but also the warmth, the cuddle that could be the metaphor or the image of the blanket, of the warm
Something
hand
very
in the
smooth,
bed.
cocooning, and actually the fragrance is very like that, surrounded by a cloud
Yeah.
of musky, vanillic notes, very soft and easy.
Easy
But
for me.
there is this metallic note, this metallic huge presence
yeah.
for the actually.
For 2 hours,
Pour
2
le
hours
coup,
and a half,
yeah, it's usually present. Actually, there is 1% of pure aliphatic aldehydes. It's something big, and there is a lot of them. And they are here for gaining, just enveloping all this powdery, abstract form in a very metallic presence. By a metallic presence, it's something very weird still, but it's here. It's actually giving a very special effect to the incense accord, which is not without incense, but in the same time giving something else, cutting the abstract shape of all the fragrance and surrounding it as well, just in a very special way. You talk about silver. There is something like a silver
Yeah, metallic.
remembering,
Yeah, I think.
metallic effect.
And
It's even platine like.
okay. For me, it's like a silver mirror in my
Uh-huh,
idea,
uh-huh.
and also because there is no natural. Because I saw a lot of knowledge, but I mean like cultural knowledge that goes from art to history. In this fragrance, I wanted to find a philosophical approach, and I was very bad in philosophy at school. I have to admit, but I was always been fascinated by the idea of destroying the veil of the Maya veil in the Schopenhauer thought. That is something that there's something that don't want to show you the real world. And for me, this metallic mirror, this silver mirror,
Like a disforming.
is changing the perception of our world.
Yeah.
And we can see only the world in this moment when we are like in the between sleeping and be awake. And that thing,
It's very interesting, actually.
as I told you, I love to fall asleep again, so I imagine a lot of things. And the idea, the only moment when you really see the life, you really understand the life,
There's different level, different lay of life, you know. I'm sure we can live in the same time, the present, the future, and the past, through the dream. The dream you can do, but through as well a lot of sensation of always déjà vu, of déjà vu, of
the deja vu is one of the mystery of my life. And I always
something very strong, actually.
I always asking me, how is it possible? And my stupid answer was that actually we have already lived our life. We are looking back at them in the moment we are leaving this world. So what the deja vu is something our brain basically made confusion to show us because it's like a movie. We are watching our life movie, but that sometimes we have I don't know, the scene that has to be shown at in the second part of the movie in the first 5 minutes. And so I don't know, maybe I'm crazy and I'm saying something stupid, but that was my approach.
Yeah, but I wanted as well to explain like that certain person are very mediumnic, you know, and have a link between what is past, what is present, and the future of one person. They can touch a person and say, yeah, you have lived this kind of life, you are living that, and you will live that. That's amazing. And they are actually they are true. But because they are a power we don't have. We are very poor in that fact. We use just 10% of our brain. We have to know that. And actually the 20% resting is the most important, and we ignore totally what it is. But well, it's a kind of homage to these 90% of our brain we don't know.
We don't use.
It's an homage to the unknown, but which is already existing.
And I think
it is existing. It is here
the
around
way
us.
the way you created this is very cool. I really appreciate.
Thank you.
Let's go on one of the favorite fragrances of our team in the store, which is Dorian Spleen.
Dorian Spleen. So Dorian Spleen is a story of Dorian Gray.
Okay, I have only 6.
Okay.
He's the small one, Dorian.
I don't know if everybody knows about Dorian Gray and the story of the very famous Oscar Wilde, but well,
No?
it's a very famous novel just because of the main theme of the story, which is our story to everybody, the story of a sharing between what we would like to be immortal and the sharing on the other part. We are very mortal, and at the same time our life is hugely precious just because of our finitude. And actually, what lived Dorian through his story is this sharing, is this ambiguity between his immortality and the fact that he can actually use of any kind of drug at any kind of limit, and he did it, and he did a bad thing until killing people, and beside that, he was always looking for something else and a kind of peacefulness which he never gets.
You get reach, yeah. It's a very tormented fragrance.
It's a tormented fragrance, very dual, very ambiguous. It's supposed to be very attractive, but in a way, and mainly on the skin, a lot of things are developing which are not that sympathical.
I have to be honest, like, for me, I'm kind of scared of wearing this. Is and not from the technical point of view, but it tells me a lot, this fragrance. And I'm kind of scared of it. I mean, maybe in a positive way. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's like the liquor, the spirits note. You have the tobacco. You have all this chocolate. I personally smell also something fruity. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, with caramel note, with maybe fruity, like that pulp, something like that.
It gives me an idea of a person like Dorian, who is tormented by the fact that the life is not enough for him. The pleasure are never enough. You always
in a way,
want to push
more.
more.
And to live something different, something to get surprises, but it's not surprise anymore.
Because you're surprised in a bad way. Yeah, you have seen everything.
He have seen everything. He have lived every kind of experience that the period where he was living present to him, and so he was boring at the very end of his life. He was in the same time alone and boring. Not anymore any friend. All his friend was away just because he just realized that he had something very weird, and it's something very special. So he was more and more isolated from his friend, more alone, and at the same time wanting to get surprises and to live something else, something very different, but he couldn't, just because the period of his life was here fixed in a very slow life, which was the life of London at the end of 19th century. That's it.
Right. But I think that the reason why you were able to create this feeling, I discovered when I never wear this. As I told you, I'm kind of scared. But Francois told me that there's a key element that is this cold ashes accord. And
cold ashes of cigarette and cigar, cold ashes as well of chimney. Something very, very special, very mineral, but very cold and very symbolizing death, actually.
In fact, maybe it was this contact that kind of make me feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, it's perfect to show what you wanted to show. So the idea of this spleen, this situation when you are surrounded and you cannot go out from it. That is Dorian's life, basically.
Absolutely. And Dorian doubt.
And Dorian, yeah.
A huge doubt, actually. He's living an eternal doubt. And actually, it's completely contradictory.
Yeah, and in fact, this is the most disordered fragrance of the collection.
Exactly, and I try to play on the both impression of each ingredient. You know, the chocolate can be very easy to appreciate.
And not here.
Yes, but
the
beans of the chocolates is something very bitter and unacceptable, repulsive, I would say. Same with coffee, same with a lot of opium can be attractive just because it is a drug, but the opium by itself is something so bitter, awful. And actually, I wanted to represent exactly the duality of each ingredient.
I think
put inside.
This one is the most evocative fragrance of this collection.
It is. maybe the easier to understand,
Yeah.
actually.
We arrive at the last fragrance.
The very
Saint
last
Noir.
fragrance. Ensemble.
I made you many questions,
Mhm.
but at this time I just want to know the description of this fragrance from you. I only ask from you one thing, but I will ask you later
Yeah. Okay.
because it's the first thing I heard when I smell it.
Okay. So like all other construction, I try to do an opposition, a contrast between a huge rose accord and a huge incense accord. Well, incense is still there, worked in a different way than the others, but in the same time it's very present. But there is a bizarre opposition between rose, which is very sympathical, very red, and contrary, the incense is here very dark, much darker than the other one.
Of course.
Yeah. And is reinforced by very strange effect of ink, strange effect of mostly ink and actually smoky effects as well. So the rose is very voluptuous, very red, very passionate, very actually sophisticated with a lot of facet. As soon as the top note, you smell a lot of facet of the rose, even the fruity effect of certain rose. But she's very enveloping, very in the way of a very beautiful and rich absolute rose. Okay, very specific raw material, which is very rich, very waxy, but resinous in a very
A bit
special.
buttery also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wanted to represent that kind of aspect of the rose and the raw material we can use. And she is here, very present, surrounding this very vertical, dark, almost black. It is very black, actually. A core of incense, smoky incense, but as well inky incense. Yeah. I can't explain it in another way. I use bizarre ingredients like the certain phenols, the castoreum in huge quantity for giving this ink accord, ink presence, and that's it. And just another presence is the one of the aldehydes. Aldehydes are very present in all my fragrances, almost all my fragrances, because it's in the same time in the DNA of the fragrance, the brand. Aldehydes are for me very blood-like, metallic.
Yeah,
blood.
of course, yeah.
And actually, I wanted to represent the blood bleeding from a cut rose, a cut actually passion, a very suffering patient, an unsatisfying patient of a lover through a bad experience, for example, and he can just save himself and by expiating or sublimating his pain by words and poems and written. And actually, the ink presence is here for the written, the words he just can express for his pain.
In fact, François told me that you imagine like a letter of love written with ink and blood. So
exactly.
A very deep thing.
Exactly.
And I had 2 questions on this.
Yeah.
Actually, 1 question. Anytime we receive a fragrance, I'm very curious also to know what people think about. So a stupid thing I do, I should stop to do it, is always go on some forum and check what people think about fragrances. And I was very disappointed because some people said, this fragrance reminds me Portrait of a Lady. And I say, no, you haven't smelled both of them because it's 2 different words. But this fragrance, at least not in the ingredients, but in the feelings I get, reminds me one of your past work, or better, this is the evolution or the revolution of this past work.
Echo of?
Yeah, of Tender from Miller Harris, which for me was a very complex fragrance. I don't know, maybe it was just me.
Yeah.
But this idea of ink,
I
this
can't
idea
explain your-
of flowers. I
Yeah.
was in love with that perfume.
Okay.
Of course, it was too difficult for me, for the audience at that time.
Ah,
And this is the evolution of it in my mind.
okay.
Is there? That was the promise. Like we were talking about this letter. Here I see the letter. Was just an idea I had, or is it something you agree
Yeah,
on?
it's a very your very personal approach of.
Of
I
course,
would
of
say
course, absolutely,
no.
of
I
course.
can't explain on even the worst. I can't remember exactly what was.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm probably the only one who like it.
I'm sorry. So I say, well, yeah, why not?
Okay.
I did so many.
Yeah, I know.
So- But what I can say that it made me remember another fragrance, one of my very first work as a perfumer, independent perfumer, the work I did for Marina and Sébastien for L'Eau d'Italie,
Okay.
Paestum Rose.
I
actually,
I haven't smelled it. I'm
And
bad because we should have it in Italy, but I don't have it. I haven't smelled it. Sorry. Sorry.
no problem.
I have too
but,
many.
That's the only fragrance which could make me say that yes, there is a kind of echo of this fragrance with through Encens Noir. Because it was kind of sheep, and this is a sheep.
Yeah,
Because,
François told me.
yeah,
It's a
this is-
neo-fruity sheep.
yeah, it's a neo-fruity sheep just because the presence of rose, moss, and actually patchouli is here quite very, very present. It's an incense, but as well a woody incense note. It's a black, dark, woody incense note through this sheep accord.
Okay.
And for me, it's more a sheep than anything else.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Bertrand, thank you very much.
Thank you, Matteo.
It has
was
been a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks a
Now
lot.
I have to make you do something. I make
What?
you need to sign the discovery set. And,
okay, yeah. You will sign, yeah.
Like a football player at the end of a game.
Okay.
And,
Okay, no problem.
thank you for what
Yeah,
you've done.
I really
to this
enjoyed
job.
this interview with
I-
you. It was very easy and natural,
Yeah,
and in the same time quite exhaustive.
Thank
Thank you a lot, Matthew.
a bit exhausting. 2 hours. How
Not
many?
exhaustive.
Exhausting. Okay, sorry. Exhausting also.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah, okay.
And I hope one day to host you here one more time.
Yeah, why
And-
not?
And
With pleasure.
thank you very much for what you have done in these years and
Thanks
for
a
your
lot,
job.
Matthew. Thanks a lot. Thank you to you too.
Thank you for watching our interview, and see you next week with a new video, new content from Profumi di Nicchia. Bye bye.